Welcome to the BetMGM studio and Titans All Access. I'm Mike Keith. In honor of the Titans' celebration of 25 seasons, we're sharing different angles of some of our favorite stories. Some are stories that you'll remember. Some you might not. But the design of our Titans at 25 series is to showcase some of the most interesting moments and people that the franchise has enjoyed. Our first story contains both. An NFL record-setting performance by a great character who was taken from us way too soon. Enjoy the first of 4 Titans at 25 stories, presented by Bud Light.
He started at Auburn, but finished at Georgia Southern. He kicked in almost every place imaginable, trying to make an NFL roster. Ola Kimron was supposed to win the job in 2005, but he beat him out to become the Titans kicker and held the spot for 9 years. One of the most unlikely players to ever become a Titans star and fan favorite, Rob Bironas. On a nondescript Houston day in October 2007, he made history. It was Bironas for 3, 8 times. The strangest part of the story is that Bironas was the calm in what would be a wild storm of a game. The Titans spent the entire first half dominating the Texans, but led only 22-7 because they couldn't punch it in the end zone. By intermission, Bironas had kicked 5 field goals. No one considered that as a good thing.
I had a sense that it was going to be that kind of game just because it was just a defensive battle, and we were going to have to make every field goal we had, every point we had a chance to make, and he just got hot that day, and it didn't matter where he was on the field, he was going to make it, and we knew he was going to make it.
There would be a 6th Rob Bironas field goal and an actual touchdown in the third quarter. Tennessee led after 3, 32-7. Then things got really crazy. Yes, Bironas would add a 7th field goal, but the Texans scored 29 points in the fourth quarter and led with 57 seconds to play. The Titans had blown a 25-point lead, but Kerry Collins and Roy Dale Williams intervened. Collins found Williams for 46 yards, and the Titans had a shot to win it. Out loped the unbothered Rob Bironas, trying to break the NFL record of 7 field goals made in a game.
Hentrick is the holder to win. Snap, set, kick on the way. Good! Comeback foiled. Titans 4-2. Rob Bironas with an NFL record 8th made field goal. And the Titans send the remaining crowd here at Reliant Stadium home stunned and disheartened.
Well, he just had that typical just Bironas grin on his face, like he was so proud of himself, and but he was never the arrogant, confident. He was always the, I know I'm good.
Rob was a little different, but obviously on the football field, it was in the best way possible because he was clutch.
Cody Allison would be down there reporting back and forth like he did for so many games for us on Titans radio, and here is a clutch moment where the Titans are trailing, and he's like, hey, Cody, did you see last week's episode of whatever television show? Or, hey, pretty wild that this happened in Nashville. This was just something completely unrelated to the game, the time, the situation, the time remaining, the down and distance. And it's like, okay, it's your time to go out there and kick. He just went out there and did it. It was amazing how he could turn the switch on and off.
That football that sailed through the uprights is still displayed at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Rob Bironas became a legend that October day in Houston, Texas.
I remember sending that shoe to the Hall of Fame and how proud he was in that moment. But he still walked around just being Rob. What a personality. He was the guy that connected with everybody.
Rob Bironas for 3, 8 times.
Welcome back to the BetMGM studio and Titans All Access. Titans at 25, presented by Bud Light. The day had it all. Big Blue in Nashville, a Manning taking center stage, and a Titans performance worthy of the dark, dreary afternoon that it was. And then out of nowhere, a fleeting comet who shined brightly for just a brief moment.
Everyone can name their favorite Titans game. A list of your favorite top 5 or top 10 Titans games isn't hard to complete either. But what about the great games that you have forgotten? That is a much tougher list. As we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Tennessee Titans, we share one of the great games in Titans history that you may have forgotten. From November 26, 2006. The Titans beat the Giants with one of the most remarkable fourth quarters in franchise history. And they needed it, because after 3 quarters, the Titans trailed Eli Manning and Big Blue 21-0. Tennessee had shown no pulse whatsoever through the first 45 minutes.
What the hell is going on? Because it was really a pretty decent football team, talent-wise, but what are we doing? You know, what is going on down there? I mean, you know, Jacobs, the big back, was running all over us. We were sputtering.
The Giants were greedy to begin the final quarter, choosing not to try a field goal on 4th and 3 at the Tennessee 31-yard line. When Manning's pass fell incomplete, the dam began to break.
Young in the shotgun. Young looking, throwing in the end zone. It's caught! Touchdown! Titans! Bo Scaife in traffic. Young rolling right. Penalty marker down. Young is in for a touchdown. Titans.
The Giants appeared to have the Titans stopped as defensive end Matthias Kiwanuka grabbed Vince Young for an apparent sack on 4th and 10 at Tennessee's own 24-yard line with less than 3 minutes left.
Young stands in, has time, pumps, in trouble, gets away, rolls to his right, buys time, pumps again, puts a move on 25-30, 35-40, and he is run out of bounds.
When Matthias Kiwanuka had Vince Young wrapped up, spun him around like they were in a dance contest, and I think was worried about roughing the passer. And that's why his arms came off of him. And then from that moment on, I mean, it was like there was a switch that had flipped.
Young takes the snap, looks in the pocket, throws in the end zone. Brandon Jones catches it. Touchdown! Titans! A 49-yarder for the lead with 11 seconds to go. Barones on the left half. Snap, set, kick on the way. Good! Six ticks remain. But let me give you the updated score. Titans 24, Giants 21.
Pac-Man Jones' 2 fourth-quarter interceptions, combined with his 23-yard punt return, served as his best performance as a Titan. It was the bitter with the sweet, as the mercurial Jones would cost himself a chance to stay with the team just a few months later.
Everything else aside, was a special physical talent as a corner and as a punt returner, and both of those things came out in that ball game. And that victory, and the night got colder and colder, and then it was like, hell yeah, let's go. It was really fun.
Your favorite Titans game? One of the top 5 or top 10 Titans games ever? Maybe not, but there have been few fourth quarters at Nissan Stadium that have been this much fun.
No chance. Those 2 words have been spoken very rarely when it comes to the Tennessee Titans as they have prepared to face opponents. On those handful of occasions when it has occurred over the past 25 years, uttering those 2 words has been incredibly painful. Unfortunately, no chance seemed to be perfectly appropriate as a rookie head coach prepared for his first game in Nissan Stadium. No chance was the Titans' supposed shot that Sunday. But the final result? A huge shock, and it signaled a lot of good football to come.
In the 25-year history of the Tennessee Titans, very rarely had they entered a game when people thought they had no chance. Sure, they had been underdogs, but no chance? Almost never has it happened, but on September 16, 2018, as Tennessee hosted the Houston Texans in Mike Vrabel's second game as Titans head coach, most experts gave them no chance. The Texans were heavy favorites to win the AFC South, and they were catching a Titans team that had just played the longest game in NFL history. The 7-hour, 8-minute ordeal in Miami would not only produce a defeat, but would see the Titans lose their quarterback, star tight end, and left tackle. That meant no Taylor Lewan and also no Jack Conklin at tackle against Houston, as Conklin was already sidelined. And by week's end, another kick in the teeth. Bruised and battered Tennessee would lose another offensive tackle, Dennis Kelly, to illness. So can you remember who the Titans started at offensive tackle against J.J. Watt and company without Lewan, Conklin, and Kelly? Good luck.
Ooh. Oh, gosh. Okay, let me see.
Ooh, that's a good. I cannot remember who those were.
I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't even guess. That's a great, I do not know.
The correct answer is Kevin Pomfield and Tyler Merritz.
Honest reaction, let me look through my Rolodex. Oh, no.
See, that's the Wayback Machine, Mr. Peabody.
Okay. Yeah, wow.
How in the world did they do what they did?
Wow, yeah. I wouldn't have got those.
Mike Vrabel knew he had to grab points and momentum early in this game, and he started with special teams.
Titans snap it directly to Byard. He throws to Cruikshank. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, end zone. Touchdown, Titans, yes!
The Kevin Byard to Dane Cruikshank touchdown electrified the crowd, but those 7 points would not be enough. On Friday, less than 48 hours before the game, Vrabel went to then offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur and challenged the future Green Bay Packers head coach to come up with anything to potentially steal some points. LaFleur then asked Derrick Henry to go back to his days at Yulee High School and take the direct snap from center. And it worked. The King Cat was born that day, as Henry took the Titans into Texans territory and then turned it over to Blaine Gabbert to throw a touchdown pass to Taywan Taylor. As the first quarter ended, the Titans led 14-0. You may remember that, and you may remember that the Titans won the game. But here's what you don't remember. The Titans did nothing offensively over the next two quarters. Deshaun Watson had the Texans in front 17-14 with 13 minutes left in the game. The fairy tale start had become the expected story of the day. No chance. But someone failed to tell the Titans. Gabbert and company crafted a 51-yard drive that allowed Ryan Succop to tie the score. The defense got the ball back, and Gabbert picked up where he left off, hitting Corey Davis twice for nice gains. Henry pounded the ball and ate the clock, and Succop gave the Titans the lead with 1 minute left. For Mike Vrabel, it was his first win as Titans head coach, and it was a defining moment.
One of the most impressive I believe I've seen, and I've seen about 700 NFL games, coached for 31 years.
I remember thinking initially, wow, they've got a really good group of coaches here, because it seems like the coaches were the ones that schemed to win that game. The talent on the field didn't reflect their best because of the injuries that you just mentioned. I just remember thinking that this coaching staff knows what it's doing, and here's a prime example of that.
By all rights, the Tennessee Titans should not have beaten the Houston Texans that day. On paper, they had no chance. Everyone said they had no chance. But someone forgot to tell Mike Vrabel and the Titans.
Welcome back to the BetMGM studio and Titans All Access. Titans at 25, presented by Bud Light. It was the last season where the Titans wore Oilers throwback uniforms. It was a season that the Titans entered as a potential Super Bowl pick. It was a season that went so wrong, so fast. A football disaster, if you will. And then a decision and a run. A run figuratively and literally like no other. The Titans fell short of their ultimate goal, yes, but the team accomplished something for the history books. 2009, CJ goes for 2K.
As a meteorologist, I have experienced forces of nature in many ways. As a sports fan, the strongest force of nature that I've ever experienced occurred in 2009. That year, Chris Johnson was a force like few had ever seen before in the NFL. That was the season of CJ's 2K. The Titans drafted Chris Johnson, number 24 overall in 2008, and he was a revelation right away, totaling almost 1,500 yards as a rookie.
No, the moment I knew he was going to be special was actually right out here at the practice field, and I was covering games for the Titans at the time, and I just wanted to see, what he was, his stature, if he could do it, if he can get in between the tackles, if he could last in the league physically. Well, all that ended when he was a live drill. He took the handoff, lowered his shoulder, bounced off somebody, split the safeties, and sprinted 80 yards for a touchdown. I said, yeah, that's all I need to see. He's going to be special.
He had a long-standing record at the Combine for his 40-yard dash time. But what people forget is he was just as quick laterally as he was north to south. He was like your favorite 99 rated Madden player.
More was expected from Chris Johnson in 2009, but he rushed for 100 yards in just one of the first 5 games, and the Titans went 0-5. It got worse in Week 6 as the Titans lost to New England 59-0. The only positive was CJ's 128 yards.
There were guys in that game that didn't have to be in that game in the fourth quarter, and that was still giving their all. And Chris Johnson being a safe, he was one of those guys.
At 0-6 and headed into the bye week, head coach Jeff Fisher made a decision. He would feed Chris Johnson the rest of the way. Johnson helped Tennessee to their first win with a franchise record 228 rushing yards against Jacksonville. He stayed hot with 135 rushing yards at San Francisco, 132 against Buffalo, 151 at Houston, and 154 against Arizona.
It was amazing to me just to see NFL players, guys in the secondary who were fast, that had an angle on him, and they still couldn't catch him. And just electrifying to see him run. I'll never forget some of his runs where he would start off on one side of the field, reverse field, outrun everybody into the end zone.
Going into the final game in Seattle, Jeff Fisher made it clear, we want to get Chris Johnson 2,000 yards. The atmosphere in the Titans camp was electric. Johnson needed 128 yards to become the 6th and the most unlikely member of the 2,000-yard club. It took 36 carries, and yet CJ still did it. This picture says 1,000 words, or maybe 2,000. All the men who helped CJ to 2K etched in history forever.
We'll still have the picture hanging in my office at home with all of our offensive linemen. And so when I got inducted in the Hall of Fame, all the guys were there, and we all took the picture together in the same spots. That was a fun season.
I think my best memory of rushing for the 2,000 yards was really like just seeing how my team had my back, how the offensive linemen, the quarterbacks, the receivers, like if you look at the tape, you see Kenny Britt and all the rest of the receivers running down the field, getting blocks for me to screen me for the long runs, how the defense working hard trying to get us the ball back so I can get some more rushing yards and stuff. So that was kind of like the best part, is like how the team just got behind me and uplifted me and really wanted me to get the 2,000 yards.
In our last segment of this special Titans All Access, which we've called Titans at 25, we featured the team's top 10 moments over the last 25 seasons, voted by you, the great Titans fans. Here we go. Number 10, Marcus Mariota's touchdown pass to himself in the playoffs at Kansas City early January 2018. Number 9, from 2007, with 3 interceptions against the Saints, Keith Bullock becomes Mr. Monday Night. Number 8, the safety, and then the free kick return for a touchdown that sent the Titans by Jacksonville on their way to Super Bowl 34. Number 7, Eddie George in the Hoosier Dome, 68 yards to send the Titans to the 1999 AFC Championship game. Number 6, Steve McNair in 2003 becomes the first black quarterback to win NFL MVP. Number 5, 2006. Rob Bironas makes an unlikely 60-yard field goal to beat the eventual Super Bowl champion Colts. Number 4, Chris Johnson goes over 2,000 yards in Seattle in 2009. Number 3, Derrick Henry both breaks the franchise single-game record for rushing and passes 2,000 yards in Houston at the end of the 2019 season. Number 2, Derrick Henry again. Thursday night football at Nissan Stadium, his 99-yard run against the Jaguars that featured 4 stiff arms. And then number 1, and this is absolutely no shock, you chose the Music City Miracle.
Do the Titans have a miracle left in them in what has been a magical season to this point? If they do, they need it now. Christie kicks it high and short. Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's got
40,
something.
50,
He's got it.
40,
He's got it.
20, 10.
He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle.
Thanks for joining us for this special edition of Titans All Access. Titans at 25, presented by Bud Light. We'll see you next time.